Here we are, guys, we're fishing again. It's the 10th of August. We haven't put a video out for a little while, for a week or so, because we haven't really been. Not during the week anyway, when we usually do the videos. I did fish last weekend. I fished the River Fest qualifier on a Saturday, which I think would have been the 3rd of August. I drew peg 37 at Clanfield. Well, that is ridiculous, that peg. There were stick ups halfway out, couldn't get me float out, was trying to fish under, it's quite deep underneath, dropped a load of choppy underneath, had a couple of perch, but nothing. Lucky to have £2 on that, didn't even bother weighing. Then on the Sunday, which would have been the 4th, it was the Roach Cup at Radcut and Clanfield in fact, and I drew 29, which is the shallows, absolutely covered in weed. I had one little area to fish, which I fished like a twat. I ended up with about 4.5 ounces of roach, I think, which gave me bottom of the field, that dropped me right down on the point, so that was handy. But 4.5 ounces was double the weight that I got on the last roach match there the season before, where we ended up with about 2 ounces. Anyway, Sheddy was riding high on that match. He finished 2nd, so that's taken him to the top of the points. He's on good form with the Shedster. Well, today, I say, it's the 10th of August and it's Clanfest. This is the first day. I've drawn peg 73, which I drew even on the first day of the last year. I had a couple of pound out of it, put me right out of the running, because you really got to finish in the top 2 in your section really if you're going to get any money in the first day. But I finished well down from this, but hopefully I'm a better angler. It's not too bad. I mean, I'm going to fish, it's about 6 or 7 foot out there. I'm going to try a bit of hempy and try and get the roach growing. Whoever said this was a great chub peg obviously never fished it before, because there's not a lot of chub come out of this peg. They're a bit further up. 71 is where you want to be for them chub. You might get the odd one swimming through, but very rare. It's quite a gravelly bottom actually. When you go down there, it's you know, a few barbel do come out of this peg over the time. It's quite gravelly when you go down, and you know, because not a lot of people fish that bend, I think the next peg's about 76. It's a safe haven for them, so they do get down there. But hey, I'm not chucking a feeder down there, I can assure you today. Sod that for a game of soldiers. I'm not going to do that anyway. That's what I got in my bait tray today. Something in there, a few casters and hemp left over from last week, a tin of hemp and snails, and some maggots which are going over, which have been left out in the sun. That's what I'm going to fish today. I am in fact, I've got some worm as well, so I'm actually going to pot some worm down. Just there's a little ledge, just drops off to about 6 foot, just where my finger is. So I'm going to put the pole down there, drop a few bait droppers of shot worm in there. Either going to get surrounded by bloody crayfish, or we might get an odd chub or a big perch coming up, which might be a bonus today. There's some good anglers around this match. Paul Pasmore's here, Jason Bean's here, obviously Sheddy, Mark Taylor's here. Now I'm hoping, I thought I'm going to have to ask him on TV, because he ain't going to do it otherwise. I'm so close to getting Mark Taylor booked in for a couple of sessions to put onto this channel. People are desperate to see him. Just getting him over that finishing line is difficult. I'm just nurturing him. He is so close. So I'm going to hope so. He's going to do a couple of episodes. Ali's took the GoPro up with him up to the he's drawn peg 35 today, which again is not a good draw. They do have barbel off it, but it's over a lot of hemp, and he ain't going to be doing that today. There's a tree that you can cast down with your feeder. It might be a day when he's sat on the feeder, and if there ain't no chub to come out, he's going to be struggling. There was only a couple of pound come off it last week at the Clanfest, and that was I'm going to say Steve Townsend who fished it. I hope that's his first. Yeah, I think it's Steve Townsend who fished it, and he's a top quality angler, and he only got a couple of pound of bits off it. So yeah, difficult peg to get anything from, so he was disappointed with that. He has got the camera strapped to him today though, so he's going to do 2 days, so I'm going to be interested to see what he comes up with. They're paying out a bit of money for 10 peg sections. Not sure what the payout is. I'm going to say 40 quid maybe. Anyway, you can have a look at my ground bait, see if we're turning into a bit of a fishing show. It is a bit of soil to sink it down, a few casters. I don't know what, where's my bag of bloody ground bait? I've been using some dynamite stuff, whatever I can find that looks very dark in colour. So there's a bit of frenzied hemp in it from what I can see, a bit of castor meal, and some, God, there was some Sensor 300 ready mix stuff I picked up by accident, so got that in there as well. So I'm going to chuck a few balls of that in. I don't know, I'm trying to talk fish in here. I'm going to try and keep the fish down on the bottom if I can. I've only set up a, what have I set up? I've set up a stick float, well, yeah, a little sticky float, 6 metre whip, and a pole line down to go on the inside. It's going to rain today, I think a little bit of rain. Tomorrow it's going to be heat wave, so it could be tops off tomorrow. Who knows, but it's going to be bloody muggy. Today is okay. The cows are down in the bottom field at the minute. They will be making their way up during the day. Maybe they bypass my car and go straight up. Maybe they'll rip the crap out of my car. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll try and give you an update a bit later. I don't like all this proper stiff fishing stuff. Anyway, there's me choppy. I always like to chuck a bit of sweet corn in with it. It probably does absolutely nothing, but I just love it. I just think that yellow sits on the ground there and it stays there, and I have caught many a chub who like a bit of a chew on that old sweet corn, so I always put some in. And what about this then? I mean, I think the tailor would be really impressed with my ground bait balls. I don't think they're quite as dark as these, but they're not bad, and I've used a bit of molehill that's around my peg, sifted a bit of that off, and so I'm going to put 7 of them down the track. They ain't got no live maggots in them, but they got casters and a few deads and a bit of hemp. Nothing major. So let's see if that's going to work. So I'm going to put that over my stick float line, and yes, let's hope we get in the money. It's quite a big payout on this today. I think if you manage to win the 2-day event, you get 400 quid straight away. Then there's a super pools money, which is 120 quid a day if you win that, I think, or might be, yeah, 120 quid a day. And there's a 4-shoe tax. You could pick up 600 quid, I would say, 600 to 700 quid. I can remember when Mike Bradley won this a few years ago. I don't know where the money was paid out differently, but he had nearly 900 quid for these 2 days. That ain't bad. But there is a lot of top anglers here even, and so you're up against it. But I'm happy with this 73. When I drew it out the hat, I thought, oh Christ, not that 73 again. But actually, looking at some of the pegs that are in, this is going to be okay. My little section, on the bottom of my section, so the next section starts at 76, and he's got the scale. So on the bottom of my section, yeah, as long as 71 doesn't start catching the chub. Oh, they're all in by the sound of it. Everybody's in. Let's get on. Fish on, everybody. Oh well, we'll be a half hour in, I suppose. I've probably got a pound, I would think, so that ain't too bad. There's plenty of these. I'm just about getting one of them a cast now, so hopefully, and we're going to check out there, hopefully they'll them roach. I know they don't weigh enough, a lot, but you get a few hundred of those, and they don't half add up. I have floated down with I've been feeding just grains of hemp at the minute, the odd bit of caster. I have floated down a couple of grains on the hook, but I've not had nothing of yet. I've tried a bit of sweet corn, which I always like to do down there, nothing of yet, because that will often pick out the better roach. So I've just gone back with a single red. I don't know whether that's right or wrong on catching anyway. I know what Clanfield's like, so as long as you keep catching, you've got to put fish in the net, and hopefully them bigger ones will come for it. There is plenty of fish out there, because that old float is dipping through. I know it's like a lighthouse, but when you put a bit of hemp on, I don't have different rigs for hemp and all that sort of stuff. If you do put a bit of hemp on, it weighs a bit more and it pulls it right down. So as I think it's roach mainly because they are sucking it. Wow. So I'm pleased to get a few bits anyway. I haven't run my stick float down there yet, and I haven't dipped into the perch line yet, or the choppy, but I will do at some point. I'll have a quick dip in that in a bit. But if I'm catching, why bother at the minute? A 2 gram float for all those who are interested. Stal seems to be doing fishing stuff now on this fishing channel. So much is draw dependent at this Clanfest meeting. It's so draw dependent. If you draw the wrong peg on the first day, you'll have a job to recover, to be honest with you. Gone quiet again. Jacket this side here again, a bloody jacket. Anyway, I've just going to try. Oh, I didn't do that very well, did I? Still got my bait drop on there. Anyway, I'm going to try to see if there's anything on the old chop line now. That's what I'm going to do. I don't like talking fishing stuff, honestly. Anyway, I've dropped a tiny little bait dropper out where I've been fishing with the whip, just full of maggots, just right on the deck, so I don't send the bleak into a spasm or anything. I'm going to try a little bit of worm on that in that chop line. I'm going to nip the end off it because everybody seems to nip the end off there. I'm going to nip the end off that. I've got a pole section somewhere around here which I'm going to use just to go over the top of it here. So let's have a little look, see if there's anything there. I don't know if you can see that. Where are we? Let's have a look. You see by the end of my pole, that's where I am. It's just a little ledge about there, and it just drops off and goes into the deep for depth. So we just let it float around there. As I say, I know it's like a lighthouse, but it won't matter for the perch. They'll take it under if there's anything about there. Let's have a little look. Straight in. Let's see what this one's like. Well worth away. Why worth away? That's directly over the old perch line, that is, and that's a good size actually. Looking at that. Look at that. That's a good 6 or 7 ounces. Oh wow, is it 6 or 7 ounces? You never know when I'm weighing. But anyway, what's what that after? How long was that in there? Not even 15 seconds, was it? So let's have a look. As per normal, it's gone through the net. It's gone through there and into the net. Let's get him out of there. But there you are. Anyway, that was that. Let's get that hook out nicely on the hook. So there you are. That's a first put in on the chop line. I'll try him again. See if we can get something else. So if we don't, we'll fill it back up with choppy again, and see if we can get a decent worm on there this time. Cumbersome. There's my pole section. Right, hopefully you'll see that. So we'll drop them in again just in case there's another one there. You never know. You've got to have a couple of lines going when you're fishing at Clanfield, because not that the other one's dried up, but if you could catch them perch all day like that, then happy days. Anyway, let's just over the ledge again. Let's see if there's anything else there. Let's see if there's anything else about. Oh, there's definitely, tangle, no, not tangle. There is definitely perch laying on that inside line. So I'm going to route around. I might have to open my other bag in a minute. I've got chopped a lot of choppy up. I did buy a kilo on Thursday when I was passing RVs, but worm ain't cheap nowadays, as you know. I mean, if you're going to fish it properly, you probably need a kilo a day, yeah, if you're going to fish it, but I'm not quite that bad. Anyway, I think there's perch there. I think there's some more on the line there, so we'll see what we can get here to oh, we didn't nip the end off of that. That was a bit stupid. Just see if we can get what else is there, because there'll be a few. We'll fill it back up and then we'll keep going back to this, I think. And get my GoPro up a little bit further. I'll have to strap the old chest one. I'll have to get up a little bit higher. Hope you can see that. I can hear a car coming. I hope people ain't going to come and sit behind me. I hope it ain't going to be I hope. Nice. So my old mate Shed, he's drawn 42 today, which is one above the barbel swim. We usually do like that peg actually, especially if the chub are feeding far over. He said he was whinging a bit about it. I'm really surprised about that. I thought he'd been happy with 42. I think that's not too bad. He's had a couple of perch, so Nick just said, so that's all I know. I think people are struggling a little bit, but that's what Clanfield's like. So I've refed the chop line down there. You see I had one perch off it, first put in. I'll go back to it in a minute. I've had a couple of runs in. There's fish out there to be caught, definitely. But just want a slightly bigger stamp, really. Slightly bigger stamp. It's going to fish completely different tomorrow because the sun is out. It's going to be muggy as hell tomorrow, so it's going to fish completely different. So let's make hay while the sun shines, or whatever the right word is for it, because we might well struggle on the wrong peg tomorrow. Now, tomorrow I shall be upstream in the top field, because that's the way these festival pegging works. If you draw down, if 20 of you draw down, I think it's below, I don't know what the cut off, I'm going to say 45 or something like that. If you draw below 45, you'll be up above 45 tomorrow, and vice versa. So if you've drawn up in the top field today, then you'll be down in the bottom field today. I don't know who's drawn 94. It's not me, but that's a peg you want down here, and really and truly there are a couple of other decent pegs along there, but 94, if you can get on that, then you stand half a chance. So let's have another little look down there, see if there's anything on that old worm line again, that chop worm line. Okay. Now what makes this quite interesting, this festival, is that somebody will be, obviously they don't swap the pegs over, somebody else will be fishing this peg tomorrow. So, you know, it's a bit of a tally sometimes to see how good or how bad you are. I can remember fishing peg 76 one festival. I've been doing it 6 or 7. How many years I've been fishing this festival? 6 years at least. And I fished 76 and only had about a pound off it. Darren Scott, who's a very good fisherman, a Drennan boy, come and fished it the next day, drew it, and he had a nearly 8 pound of blooming roach off it. So that was a bit embarrassing, because everybody thought what a useless idiot I was, I think. But anyway, that was then. This is now. Probably would have the same off it today, but you know. Let's have a little ponder. Come on, is there anything else on that choppy line? Is there anything else there? Surprised a bloody crayfish end all over it, to be honest with you, because you get a lot of crays over. That's the trouble up here. You feed the chop and you can get a lot of crayfish on it. don't want to... There we are. We're in again. We're in again, boys. Dead again on the chop line. What we got this time? This is something decent, actually. I don't know what this is. Well, this is another big perch. Another big one. All falling on that old chop line. Come on to daddy, you bugger. Come on. Don't lose this one. I wanted one about £1, and I got one about £1. That will do me well today. So, there we are. This one's a bigger stamper fish, this one. He's a lot bigger. Let's get the old hooky dooky out of him. He's yeah, he's a good 3/4 pound, that one. So there you are. They are there. Let's put the choppy. There you are. If you want some trouble, here's the Clanfield cows. Just catching the tail end of them now. They're all coming up for peg 94. They're looking for trouble. They're looking for oh, there they are. Straight under Wayne's car. The other old guy's put his, he's got barbed wire up, electric fence up around his. They're coming up. They're on the calf. The Clanfield cows. Gotta love them. Luckily, they ain't looking behind. Thank God for that. They're still coming. They're on there.
Yeah, okay. Big 31, you know. Tight knife.
I haven't heard anything, Brian, down there, to be honest with you. Well done, mate. Brilliant bag. Brilliant, mate. Brilliant. Spread them open here. Let's have a look at them. There's James. Look at that. Peg 17. Beautiful.
Brilliant.
Well done, mate. Thanks very much. Here's box office Brian, 15A.
Oh, better. That was the last one. Fuck that right up, new nets. No, been down the middle. Down the middle.
Oh.
15. 8.
Spread them open then, Bri. Let's have a look. Look at this beautiful bag of fish. Look at that lovely dog. Oh my God, he's a lovely fish, Bri. Brilliant. Well done, mate.